And for me, I mean, not by design, but it's funny to say. I mean, I can see it now. It's like, I just wanted to be in a band where I could fire a singer.
Yeah.
That's really what it came down to. Pretty important.
Nicely done.
The Black Crowes would surprise a lot of people a few years ago when brothers Rich and Chris Robinson reformed the group. While some fans were happy, others were not, as longtime and original drummer Steve Gorman was not part of the reunion. Gorman played with the band until their last breakup in 2015, the same year that they celebrated their 25th anniversary of their debut album, Shake Your Moneymaker. The band was planning on hitting the road the same year to celebrate its anniversary, but things quickly came apart. So why wasn't Steve Gorman involved with the reunion? That's what we're going to discuss in today's video. In 2019, Steve Gorman would put out his book titled Hard to Handle: The Life and Death of the Black Crowes. The book offered his version of events of the band. It was around the time of the Black Crowes breakup in 2015 that Gorman also became a radio broadcaster, doing several shows about sports for both Fox and Westwood One. He would tell New York station Q104.3 how the band split up in 2015, saying, "And so when the tour ended in 2013, everybody went home, and I know for Rich and myself, anyway, we were thinking, okay, we have a year to do whatever else, and then we're going to hit it for one last big thing." That was going to be the plan. And then in February 14, Chris decided that in order to do that, he was going to have to dramatically change the terms of the band, how it operated financially. So he demanded the lion's share of the money to do the tour, which up until that point, money went three ways. In early 2015, guitarist Rich Robinson announced that the band was done, putting out a statement that read, "I love my brother and respect his talent, but his present demand that I must give up my equal share of the band and that our drummer for 28 years and original partner Steve Gorman relinquish 100% of his share, reducing him to a salaried employee, is not something I could agree to." Frontman Chris Robinson would put out a statement responding to his brother Rich, saying, and I quote, "It's way more complicated than Rich's public outburst," but he wouldn't elaborate any further. It was following the breakup of the band, the brothers would go on to pursue their own musical endeavors, some of which existed before the band's breakup. Years after the breakup, Gorman would elaborate that his gig as a radio host seemed to upset Chris Robinson. Gorman believed Robinson was upset that the drummer had created another career outside of the Black Crowes. In November of 2019, Rich and Chris Robinson would appear on Howard Stern's radio show to announce the reunion. Of course, Gorman wouldn't be involved. Gorman would put out a statement claiming he wouldn't be involved in the reunion unless he got his fair share when it came to their business arrangement. As to whether the reunion surprised Gorman, here's what he told Q107.7.
Knowing that we all know each other really well. So I was just in watching peripherally what they've both done with their solo careers. This is an inevitability.
Yeah.
I would have bet my house 4 years ago that they were going to reunite as the Black Crowes without anybody else in the band. That was.
So you saw this train come along.
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
And it's and they continually paint themselves into corners, and there's only one solution. Mm-hmm. And by that, what I'm saying is they run out of money, they run out of future, they alienate promoters, they don't have the tools to build a successful, sustained solo career. So then they have to come back to the Black Crowes. Mm-hmm. And I heard an interview Chris did with Howard Stern a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago almost, maybe. And he was ripping on the Grateful Dead, the Dead now. And he tore John Mayer apart for who does he think he is or whatever. And he said, and he was accusing all the Grateful Dead people, which he loves the Dead, and he loves Jerry. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I used to say his shoulders smell like shit because his head's so far up it goes to Jerry Garcia's ass. But I like the Dead too, but I couldn't like them because he loved them too much. And what do I, you know, it's like he ruined the Dead for me. Thanks, man. Can I just be a Dead fan and not be obsessed and try to make us sound like them? But he did this whole attack on them for going back to the teat and going back, and he was talking to himself. Mm-hmm. And I know that. And I said that day, I went, oh, he's going to go back to Rich now because he's mad at himself because he's going to be there real soon and he knows it.
Right.
And that's exactly what it was.
Well, it was following the reunion announcement that Rich Robinson, who once defended Gorman, would put out his own statement slamming the drummer, saying the following: "Steve was one of the incredibly negative and manipulative forces in the band that we really didn't want to deal with. In order to get back, we really had to do this very specific purge where we focus on the two of us and let this be something that will be positive." Gorman, for his part, would quip back on Twitter, writing, "Damn, my bad, y'all." Then in 2022, Gorman filed a lawsuit against the Robinson brothers and the Black Crowes partnership over unpaid royalties, and it appeared that as of late 2022, it would be coming to a settlement. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again in Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.